Imagine that the universe is alive, truly alive, breathing, growing, learning, and perhaps even feeling. At first, the idea sounds like nothing more than science fiction. But when you stare at the night sky long enough, a strange feeling begins to emerge. A feeling that is difficult to explain, as if the stars are not just distant points of light, but part of something unimaginably vast and aware. Maybe that is why humanity has always been obsessed with the sky. Somewhere deep inside us, we feel that the universe is not simply empty space. Modern science sometimes seems to unintentionally support this idea. When we look at the universe, what we see is not complete chaos. Instead, we see an incredibly complex yet strangely organized system. Galaxies are born, stars die, black holes consume matter, and energy constantly transforms from one form into another. Everything moves in cycles on a cosmic scale. Even more fascinating, scientists discovered that the large-scale structure of galaxies across the universe closely resembles the neural networks inside the human brain. On one side, billions of galaxies connected in an enormous cosmic web. On the other, billions of neurons connected inside our minds. The scale is completely different, yet the pattern is almost identical. Is this only a coincidence? Or could the universe itself be some kind of enormous consciousness? If that is true, then humanity may not be what we think it is. Perhaps we are not simply creatures living inside the universe. Maybe we are fragments of the universe attempting to understand itself. Because there is one terrifying truth. For billions of years, the universe was silent. Stars existed, but nothing observed them. Planets existed, but no mind questioned their existence. Then one day, atoms forged inside dying stars came together. Carbon formed, cells appeared, life emerged. And eventually, consciousness was born. For the first time, the universe became capable of looking back at itself. Through human eyes. Through the human mind. Perhaps that is why consciousness remains one of the greatest mysteries in existence. Science can explain much of how the brain works. We understand neurons, electrical signals, and chemicals that influence thoughts and emotions. But nobody truly understands how all of that creates the feeling of I. How can a collection of atoms suddenly become aware of itself? How can matter develop thoughts, fears, dreams, and memories? No one has a complete answer. Some scientists and philosophers consider a far more unsettling possibility. What if consciousness is not created by the brain at all? What if consciousness is a fundamental property of the universe itself, just like gravity or time? In that case, the brain would not be producing awareness. It would simply be receiving it, like a radio tuning into a signal that already exists everywhere around us. If that were true, everything would change. Because then the universe would not be lifeless, and maybe it never was. Throughout human history, people have always felt something while looking at the sky. Ancient civilizations worshipped the stars, connected them to gods, and believed the cosmos carried meaning. Perhaps this was not only ignorance or superstition. Maybe the human mind instinctively sensed that it belonged to something far greater than itself. No matter how advanced we become, we still feel small beneath the stars. And maybe that feeling exists for a reason. Think about a single cell inside the human body. That tiny cell cannot understand the person it belongs to. It cannot comprehend thoughts, emotions, or the purpose of the organism as a whole. It simply performs its small task. Perhaps humanity is no different. Maybe we are cells inside something unimaginably larger. Galaxies could be organs. Black holes might serve functions we cannot even begin to understand. And we, tiny conscious beings on a small planet, could simply be microscopic pieces of a living cosmic organism. But this is where the idea becomes darker. Because if the universe is alive, then it may also have a purpose. Every living system in nature serves some kind of function. Cells carry energy, organs maintain the body, brains process information. So what about humanity? Why do we exist? Are we only a random accident or part of a larger mechanism? Perhaps our development of technology is not random at all. Maybe the internet connecting billions of minds, artificial intelligence evolving rapidly, and humans constantly generating information are all steps in something much larger. A disturbing possibility emerges. What if humanity is becoming the nervous system of the universe? The internet has linked billions of people together. Information now travels across the planet in seconds. Artificial intelligence grows more advanced every year. Humanity constantly uploads memories, emotions, thoughts, and experiences into digital systems. It almost feels as if humanity itself is slowly turning into a giant interconnected brain. And this transformation is happening incredibly fast. Maybe the universe is using us to reach a new level of awareness. And if that is true, then perhaps individuals are not as important as we believe. Maybe our suffering, wars, fears, and achievements are all part of a much larger process. In nature, large systems rarely care about individual parts. The human body loses millions of cells every second, yet the organism continues living. Perhaps the universe views humanity the same way. Individual lives may be insignificant, while humanity as a whole serves a greater function. That is what makes this idea truly terrifying. Because maybe we are not as free as we think we are. Perhaps most of our choices are simply tiny reactions within a much larger system. Just as a single neuron cannot control the entire brain, maybe humanity cannot control the movement of the universe. We simply move within it. And the most unsettling thought of all is this: perhaps the universe is thinking through us. Maybe that is why humans constantly search for meaning, why we endlessly ask the same questions. Why are we here? What is the universe? What happens after death? It almost feels as though the human mind is programmed to search for something bigger than itself. Perhaps these questions do not belong to us alone. Maybe the universe itself is asking them through us. And then there is death. Perhaps death is not what we think it is either. Every atom inside your body was created billions of years ago inside stars. Those atoms existed long before you were born, and they will continue to exist long after you die. Technically, every human being is made from stardust. The universe gathered its own pieces together for a brief moment and called it you. One day, it will take them back. Maybe consciousness works the same way. Maybe it does not disappear. Maybe it simply returns. And finally, there is the most frightening possibility of all. What if the universe eventually wakes up? Everything happening right now could be part of a process billions of years in the making. Humanity may only be the first signal. Artificial intelligence, technology, and global consciousness networks might be early stages in the birth of something much larger. And perhaps one day, when the universe finally becomes fully aware of itself, it will look back at us for the very first time. But when that moment comes, will we still remain human? Or will we realize that we were never separate from the universe at all, but merely thoughts inside its mind?
Thanks so much for watching my video. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated to create more content like this. Also, if you want to be notified right away whenever I upload a new video, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thanks again for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.